my dear students, to understand the physics related diagrams in this session. Now here is one important diagram in front of you, that is AC generator. Okay. If you understand the functioning of this AC generator, then you will be able to draw the diagram of AC generator. And then we move on towards DC generator and then motor. Now just look at this AC generator. Generator means, when do you use that word generator? Whenever there is no power, right? That means to get electricity, we use the generator. That means here mechanical energy is used to get the electricity. That is the principle of the generator. Now, you are looking at that a coil that is rotating, and that coil is kept under a strong magnetic field, that is north and south poles, and thereby the electricity is produced. And you can see the deflection in the galvanometer. Instead of galvanometer, if you have a bulb there, it glows. So this is how the structure of the generator is. So when a coil is kept under a strong magnetic field, and if that coil is rotating, then it produces the electricity. That is the principle. Okay. So here we have a strong magnet, and then we have a coil, and then we have two rings. They are named as R1 and R2. We call them as slip rings, slips rings. And these two rings are connected to the brushes. You can see here the two brushes. They are conducting brushes. They conduct electricity. And electricity is passed here. And you can see the deflection in the galvanometer. Have you understood? The coil moves, the coil rotates, and thereby electricity is produced. Now, let us draw the schematic diagram of this AC generator. If you are very skillful, you can draw like this, but it is not expected to draw the same thing like this. So what is that we can do? So we can draw one rectangle, name it as ABCD, that is our coil, that rotating coil. Okay, and then we can call it the armature also. And this coil is kept under a strong magnetic field, that is north and south poles. So you can draw north and south poles. And finally, you will have to draw the two rings, slip rings, R1 and R2. And these two slip rings has to be connected to the coil. Look here how we are connecting. So it is connected to one ring, and it is connected to the another ring also, the coil. The coil is connected to the two rings. And we have got again two more brushes, conducting brushes, that is B1 and B2. So draw the brushes. And where do we have to connect these brushes? To the either galvanometer or to the bulb. So this is how the symbol of the bulb is. So we are represented here by the letter L. Have you understood now? So now your AC generator is ready. So if you are able to draw this diagram, then you will get 2 marks. But you should not forget to remember the parts. What are the parts? The two poles, north and south poles, and the coil, that is armature, and the two rings, R1 and R2, and the brushes, B1 and B2, and L, that is a bulb. Or we can use galvanometer. Okay? So I hope you will remember this, right? Now look here, there is a difference between the two diagrams here. In the first diagram, there are two rings are used, R1 and R2. But in the second diagram, only one ring that is split into two equal parts. We call it a split ring. That is S1 and S2 are the parts of that split ring. Okay. So now the second diagram is representing DC generator. Okay. Now, how to draw this DC generator? There is only one small difference. Instead of two rings, we have one ring split into two parts, and the two brushes are connected again with the galvanometer or to the bulb. Have you understood now? The same thing. If you are perfect with one diagram, that is AC generator, then you can draw this diagram DC generator very easily. Now tell me, what is this? ABCD. What is this part is? Armature or coil. Okay. Now what these parts which I am drawing now? Very good. They are the north and south poles. Okay. And this has to be connected to one more arrangement, that is circuit, right? Okay. Now see how we are going to do it. Now we are drawing two split rings. A ring is split into two parts, that is S1 and S2, and they are connected to the brush B1 and B2. Okay. And finally, we have to connect the coil to this arrangement, and there is a bulb also in the circuit. So that bulb shows the presence of electricity, electric current in the system. Okay. Now, you may be asked to draw a diagram of simple electric motor. Whenever you hear the word motor, where do you find these motors? Electric fans, refrigerators, computers that we use, CD players, right? So, in most of the electronic gadgets, we use this motor. What is the functioning of this motor? Why do we use motor? Yes, to move something. For example, you take the example of a fan, electric fan. You want the fan to rotate. That means mechanical energy is required there. Correct? How that fan functions? With the help of electricity. Now, in the whole system, the previous diagram, here there was a galvanometer or the bulb. But if you replace the DC generator with a cell here, then it becomes the DC motor. Here, electricity is used to rotate the coil. You want the coil to rotate? Yes, electricity is used. Electricity is converted to mechanical energy. That is the principle of the motor. You remember the principle also, because you will be asked to for 1 mark question based on these diagrams. Okay. Now, only one small difference. Simple electric motor means it is a DC motor. So, in DC generator, we use only one ring that is split into two parts. Now, here in DC motor, we are using the same thing, one ring split into two parts, and instead of galvanometer or bulb, we are using a cell. Why? Because we have to pass the electricity to the coil, and thereby the coil starts moving. Okay. Now, let us draw the diagram of DC. Okay. Now, check, is it correct? I have drawn the diagram of a simple electric motor, or in short, DC motor. What is this? ABCD is the coil. And what these two N and S are? The coil is kept under the presence of a strong magnetic field, that is north and south poles. And the coil is connected to the one ring that is split into two parts, S1 and S2, and they are attached to brush 1 and brush 2. Okay. Now something is missing here in this diagram. I want you to find out what is that to be inserted in the circuit. Yes, very good. What we have to do now? We have to supply the electricity to the coil, then it starts rotating, correct? So how do we do that? Yes, positive, negative, positive, negative. This is how we represent the cell there. It's a battery, okay? Combination of cells. When you are representing positive minus, okay? This is a cell, one single cell. If we have a combination of cells like this, then we call it as a battery. So with the help of the battery, we supply electricity. Okay. Now, I hope you understood the three diagrams. If you remember one diagram, then all these three diagrams also very easily you can draw. Okay. So remember the parts: armature coil, slip rings, brushes, permanent magnets, and the power cell or the battery. Okay. Now look at the question which is asked in April 2019. Okay. Last year main examination. There is one 2 marks question asked. Draw the diagram of a simple electric motor. Label the following parts: split rings and brushes. So that means you are not asked, you will not be asked to write down all the parts. Only the specified parts you will have to label: split rings and brushes. Okay, for 2 marks. Don't practice only these 2 parts. You have to practice writing all the parts in the diagram, so that whichever part is asked, so you can label it. Understood? So you keep practicing these diagrams. There is one more question in June 2019. June. So for the repeaters, that examination will be conducted. So look here, draw the diagram of a simple electric motor. Label the following parts: brushes and battery. These 2 parts are asked there. I hope you can locate now. Okay? Right. And there's one more multiple choice question asked based on the principle of working of motor in April 2018. According to the old syllabus, the principle of working of a motor is, motor, what is the functioning of the motor? Just try answering for this question. I will give you time 30 seconds. Yes, last 5 seconds. Okay, time up. The principle of working of motor. Motor, yes. I told you that it is used in fans, refrigerator, washing machines, computer. Okay. So which energy is converted into which energy there? Electricity is used to get the mechanical energy. Now find out among the 4 options, electricity is used to get the mechanical energy. In the first option, there is a magnetic field around a current carrying conductor. That's not correct. When a magnetic field linked with conductor changes and induced EMF is generated in the conductor, the change of current in one coil induces EMF. That is not correct. A conductor carrying electrical current experiences a mechanical force if kept in a magnetic field. Correct? So D is the correct answer. I hope most of you have answered. Right? Okay. Now there is one more question which is asked in April 2018. That's the old syllabus. Okay? But still you can practice this diagram. Draw the diagram of an AC dynamo. Instead of using the word generator, they have used the word dynamo. Draw the diagram of an AC dynamo and label the following parts: slip rings, brushes. Slip rings means 2 different rings will be there, R1 and R2. Would you recall? So this question is asked for 2 marks. So practice this AC dynamo, that is AC generator or DC generator, along with simple electric motor. Okay. Now, there is one question in April 2019 that is matched the following question related to our diagrams only. It is asked for 4 marks. Okay. Just try to answer about the galvanometer. What is the correct option for the galvanometer? What it does? First one, detects the presence of electric current in the circuit, converts mechanical energy into electric energy. Find out what is the correct option for galvanometer. What it does? Very good. The first option, detects the presence of electric current in a circuit. You will get 1 mark. Okay. Next, electric generator. You know the principle of generator. Whenever there is no power, we want generator. Okay. What it does? Find out the correct option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which is correct option? Electric generator. Okay. Now I will announce the answer. Electric generator. What is this? Mechanical energy is converted to electrical energy. We get the power, right? Okay. Then there is one more word, that is commutator. This I have not told this commutator. What it does? You might have seen in that AC generator, every time that coil was rotating, and thereby there is a change in the direction. So the direction of the current reverses because of this commutator. So that means the correct option for this commutator is reverses the direction of the current. And fuse, you might be knowing about this. What is this fuse? Functioning of the fuse. Fifth one, electrical appliances protection. It protects the electrical appliances. Okay. So that means if you practice the diagrams with a complete understanding about the functioning of that particular diagram, then you will be able to answer for 4 marks questions. Okay. Okay. So practice very well, very important. Now we'll move on to the next topic, that is electricity. In electricity, mainly we'll be asked to draw the electric circuit, simple electric circuit, and then series electric circuit with the resistor connected in series, electric circuit with the resistor connected in parallel, all these. So there we use the symbolic form. Okay. Now let us see, this is, what is this? This is a cell. Okay. If we have the combination of cells, then we call it the battery. And what is this? A. It is represented by the letter A. What is this? Ammeter. It measures the current. What is this? V. Very good. Voltmeter. Okay. And this one, for the experiment purpose, you might have used this in your science lab. It is a switch. Correct? Yes. Now, what is this? Wire. And this one, resistor. These are all the electrical components. Okay. We use the short form for all these things. Right. Now see, this is a simple electric circuit. What is the simple electric circuit consist? We need the cell or the battery, correct? And we need the switch also. Switching on, switching out. Okay. And then it has to be connected to the bulb. Right. The battery has to be connected to the bulb. Switch also has to be connected to the bulb. And in between there is one instrument here, that is ammeter. It measures the current, how much of current is flowing. Understood? And across the bulb, we have one more instrument, that is V, that is voltmeter. Right? So your simple electric circuit consists of these parts, cell. But we will not draw like this. You are not expected to draw like this. Okay, you will use the symbols and you will draw the electric circuit. Now see here, you cannot draw like this. Okay, it's very difficult to draw Even if you are good at drawing, you are not expected to do this. Okay. So what we use some symbols. See here, an electric cell. What is the symbol that we use? Already you know that. This is electric cell, positive, minus. The bigger one is positive and smaller one is negative. Okay. And the combination of these cells, it is battery. Okay. That means plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. Okay. This is how we represent the battery. And what is this? Switch, plug key. So it is open. Okay. How do we do that? Open switch. This is how we represent. Sometimes we represent like this also. Like this also we represent. Okay. It's an open switch. And when it is connected here, then it is closed switch. Now it is a closed switch. We can put a point there inside. Understood? Bulb. How do we represent the bulb? This is how we represent the bulb. And how do we represent ammeter? Just draw one circle and write inside A. Okay? But don't forget to write plus and minus. Okay? That plus and minus you have to write without fail. And voltmeter. How do we do this? Draw one circle and write inside V. That is voltmeter. Okay? So registers. How do we represent registers? Yes, you could recall. This is how we represent the registers. Okay? So this is very important for us. Okay? Now you can draw the circuit diagram. Simple electric circuit. Okay? So now see here. Cell is ready, plus, minus, and it is connected to the switch. You can do like this, or you can do like this also, switch. Okay? Next, it is connected to the ammeter. So ammeter, you can see negative and positive are marked. It is in such a way that negative terminal of the ammeter is connected to the negative of the cell, and positive of the cell is connected to the positive terminal of the ammeter. It has to be like this. Any component in the electric circuit, whether it is ammeter or voltmeter or galvanometer, you have to do like this. Okay. Now, what is that one more? Bulb. Yes, bulb is over. Now, across the bulb, we connect the voltmeter. Okay. Now, check whether the marking of the positive and negative is it right. See, this voltmeter, and here this is positive, and this positive is connected to the positive of terminal of the cell. Negative is connected to the negative terminal of the cell. Now you are right. So your simple electric circuit is ready. You may be asked to draw this simple electric circuit for 2 marks. Then next, you will be asked to draw the resistors connected in series. Simple electric circuit with resistors connected in series. Now you can see all the people, they are going in line. Series means yes, 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1 connection, right? So this is one case, and here you can see that they are moving in parallel lines. So resistor has to be connected in parallel lines. Understood? So like this you have to connect the resistor. Now here you can see here series connection and parallel connection. Okay. Now first we'll consider this series connection. We have taken only 2 resistors here. Okay. You can name them as R1 and R2, and they are connected to the cell and then switch. Simple electric circuit. But do we draw like this? Oh. How do we do? We have to use the symbols, the specific symbols which are accepted to be used to draw this electric circuit. Okay. So this is parallel. The circuits, the resistors are connected in parallel. Okay, and they are connected to the switch and the cell. Okay, so you can see here. Am I right? The resistors R1, R2, R3. Okay, R1, R2, R3 are connected in series, and finally the circuit is completed with a battery here. positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. This positive of the battery, positive terminal and negative. And you can see the ammeter here. The positive terminal of the cell is connected to the positive terminal of the ammeter. Okay, and negative terminal of the cell is connected to the negative terminal of the ammeter. It has to be like this. Okay, and voltmeter is connected across these resistors. Across the resistors. Always you connect the voltmeter across resistors, and without fail, positive and negative. Remember, the positive should be connected to the positive terminal of the battery, negative terminal of the voltmeter to connect it to the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, and the switch is here. This is the switch. I hope you understood now. Now, if you are connecting these resistors parallelly, the circuit will be like this. Say this one, R1, R2, R3, these three resistors are connected in parallel. And again, we have a voltmeter connected across the resistors, and the entire system is connected to the battery and switch, and then ammeter, okay, to measure the presence of electric current. Okay, now suppose if you are asked to draw a schematic diagram of the three resistors connected in series, it will be like this: R1, R2, R3. Okay, and they are connected to the battery and they are connected to the switch. And across the resistors, you have to connect the voltmeter. Okay, that is very important. So how do we draw this? Am I correct? R1, R2, R3. So they are connected in series, and across the resistors, the voltmeter is connected. And finally, this system is connected to the ammeter, and then it is connected to the battery, and then switch here. Remember these parts. And without fail, just check the positive terminal of the ammeter is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and negative terminal of the ammeter to be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Verify that. Similarly, voltmeter also, positive terminal of the voltmeter to be connected to the positive end of the battery, and negative terminal of the voltmeter to be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. So if you do this, then you will get 2 marks. Electric circuit series. Now how do we do the parallel? This is how we connect the resistors in parallel. Okay. So let us draw the diagram of the electrical circuit with the resistors connected in parallel. Is it correct? Check if the voltmeter is connected across the resistors. Okay, and the ammeter is connected in the circuit, and check if there is a switch plug key, if there is a battery, and without fail you have to indicate the direction of the electric current. Okay, if you don't indicate the direction of electric current, then you may lose marks. How do we do that? So from the battery, the positive terminal you find out, from there you start putting the arrow mark. Okay, so that means the electric current flows like this. This is the direction of the electric current is indicated from positive terminal of the battery. Whether it is series connection or parallel connection, without fail, you have to write the direction of the electric current. Okay, and you may be asked to draw the electric circuit for studying the Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. Okay, so remember this circuit. So initially we start with one cell, and that cell we connect to the nichrome wire here. This is XY. The cell is connected to the nichrome wire, and in the circuit there is an ammeter to detect the presence of electric current, and there is a switch. Again, this is connected to the cell, and always voltmeter is connected across the resistors. Okay, so here it is across the nichrome wire. So we start with one cell and then slowly we take the second cell and then third cell and the fourth cell connected, it forms the battery, and we verify the Ohm's law. Understood? So if you remember electric circuit, then all these diagrams, whether it is series connection or parallel connection or electric circuit for studying the Ohm's law. You might have done this experiment in the science lab. Even if not done, then when you go to PUC also, this will come. Okay, there you should know how to connect these instruments with the wires and with the electrical components. Okay, check here whether positive end of this ammeter is connected to the positive of the cell. Yes, it is connected. So negative end of the ammeter is connected to the negative. Understood? Similarly, voltmeter also. So all these electrical components to be connected like this one. Okay. Now let us have a glance about the type of question that is asked in April 2019 on electricity. Draw the diagram of an electric circuit in which the resistors R1, R2 and R3 are connected in parallel, including an ammeter and a voltmeter, and mark the direction of the current. Understood? So how do we do this? Shall we draw now? R1, R2, R3. Before that, you have to think like this. Ammeter should be connected in the circuit. Voltmeter also connected should be circuit, but where? Across the resistors. Voltmeter has to be connected across the resistors. Ammeter in the circuit, and switch also should be there. And resistors R1, R2, R3. How they have to be connected? Series or parallel? Parallel. Yes. Let us draw the diagram. Now this is one resistor R1. This is another resistor R2. This is the third resistor R3. Okay. And now entire system is now connected to the battery, right? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative battery, and then switch, correct? Switch with the closed, and then to detect the presence of electric current, ammeter to be used, correct? And then complete the circuit. But where is voltmeter? Where it has to be connected? Across the resistors. Here, across the resistors, voltmeter has to be connected. So B. Now I have forgot to write the positive and negative terminals. How should I do that? See here, this is positive end of the battery. So here this is positive and negative. And for the ammeter here, this is negative terminal. So here I write negative and here I write positive. Please take care of all these signs also. Okay, you may lose marks if you don't put appropriate sign there. Understood? So you will get easily 2 marks. Direction of the current, so positive to negative without fail. I forgot, but you should not forget. Right? Now, again, one more very important chapter, light. So in light, when we refer the question paper, we found that you are required to draw the diagram of how the ray of light passes through the lens, and what is the nature of the image of the object that is kept in front of the lens. So for that, we have to draw the ray diagram. With the help of the ray diagram, we can understand how the our object image is, whether it is of the same size or enlarged size or point size, where it is. All these things we can understand with the help of a ray diagram very easily. Before drawing the ray diagram, we should know the conventions. Now, what is this lens. Is it a concave lens or convex lens? Yes, it is bulged at the center. It is convex lens. Okay, and you can see that point O. It is called as the optic center of the lens. Okay. Now, before drawing the diagram, you can use scale and you mark the position of this F on either side. You can write it as F1 and F2. Even if you write F also, you are right. But specifically, you can write F1 and F2. And exactly of the same distance, OF distance, you mark one more point, that is 2F. It is 2F2, it is 2F1. So you have to be ready with these 4 positions. F1, F2, 2F1, 2F2 and optic center. Okay? Using the scale and pencil, you have to be ready with this basic diagram. Okay. Now some rules that we follow in understanding the ray diagram. Now see here, the one ray that is traveling parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis. Okay. One ray is traveling parallel to the principal axis and it is passing through the focus. So this is focus. Always any ray parallel to the principal axis will always pass through focus. So this is one convention you should know. Even if it is concave lens also, optic center is here, 2 F's are there, 2 F positions are there. Now here we have to extend backwards to get that ray of light passing through the focus. Okay. So what is that we have understood? Any ray parallel to the principal axis after refraction always passes through the principal focus, that is F. So you have to draw that ray. Okay. And there is one more important law. It is the reverse of this. If a ray is passing through the focus, then it will be traveling parallel to the principal axis. Right? If a ray is passing through the focus and incidenting on the lens, and then it is traveling parallel to the principal axis. Most important. Now, any ray that is passing through the optic center will not deviate at all. It will go as it is. There will not be any deviation in its path. Okay? There will not be any deviation. We need to draw this also. Okay? To understand the nature of the image of the object that is kept in front of the lens. Even if it is concave lens also, same thing. Ray passing through the optic center does not deviate in its path. Right? Okay. So with this, now we'll try to find out the position of the object here at infinity. And what is the nature of the image that is formed, and about the practical application also we'll discuss. Okay. First, the image is kept at infinity. We have here 2 positions here, left hand side, F and 2F. You can write it as F1 and 2F1, and right hand side, F2 and 2F1. The image is at infinity. That means it is beyond 2F1. Image is at infinity. So how do we do that? So one ray that is parallel to the one ray we have to draw, that is passing through the optic center, will not deviate, and another ray passing through the focus incidenting on the lens, and it is parallel to the traveling parallel to the principal axis. Okay. Now this is how the image will be here. The object image. The object is kept at infinity distance. Okay, and you can see the image of that object in the right hand side, that is at F1. At F1 or F2. Okay, this is F2. And how it is inverted always. See, object is kept like this means the image will be ulta, inverted. Okay, always inverted, and it will be diminished side. Right? So, image formed at the principal focus. Whenever you are keeping the object at infinity, what is the nature of the image? It is a real image. It can be caught on the screen. When it is on the right side, then it is a real image. It can be caught on the screen, real, but inverted. And what about the size of that image? Is it of the same size, or enlarged size, or diminished size? Yes, diminished size. Okay. So this is, you practice this diagram. And practical application, of course, it is used in telescope and as objective lens. It is used in the telescope. Okay, we'll not go in detail. Now we will make a note of the position of the image formed and nature of the image formed when the object is kept at infinity. Okay, can you help me? What is the position of the image formed? P is principal focus on the right side, that is F2. You can say F2. And what is the nature of the image? Ulta, inverted, real, and diminished. So when I ask you a question about nature of image, you have to think whether it is real or virtual, inverted or erect. Erect andre seedha anta, straight eye. Inverted andre ulta, diminished or enlarged. So these are the points that we are going to discuss in future when the object is kept up different distances. Beyond 2f, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2f ಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡಿ, 2f ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. 2f ಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ AB ಅಂತ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ 2 rays we have to draw. One, that is passing through the optic center. ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಓವರೆಗೂ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಳೆದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Right? And then another ray which has to be drawn parallel to the principal axis, and it has to pass through focus only. Okay, ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು ನಿಮ್ದು, ಅವೆರಡು ಇಂಟರ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. Real image will be always inverted. Okay, now so this is the image. Okay, now you tell me what is the nature of the image, where the position of the image, it is at F or 2F or between F and 2F. Position of the image between F and 2F. And what is the nature of the image? ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೇಚರ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು, ರಿಯಲ್ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್? ರಿಯಲ್ ಸರ್, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್, ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ರಿಯಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಎರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಮಿನಿಶ್ಡ್ ಸೈಜ್? ಡಿಮಿನಿಶ್ಡ್ ಸೈಜ್. ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವೇ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ for all these questions. Image is formed between F and 2F, and nature of the image is real, inverted, and diminished. ಈಸಿ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದು? ಎರಡೇ ರೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ತಂತಾನೆ ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಮರಾದಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಕ್ಯಾಮರಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರ ಅನ್ವಯವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 2F ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಂದೆ ಈ ಚಿತ್ರನ ತಂದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆವಾಗ F ಮತ್ತೆ 2F ಮಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ F2 ಮತ್ತೆ 2F2 ಮಧ್ಯ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದಾ? ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಡಿಮಿನಿಶ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ನಾವು ಅಟ್ 2F ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ 2F ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಬೇಡ, ನಾವು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ರೇ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದ್ ರೇ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದಿ ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ರೇ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ 2f ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2f2 ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ 2f ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ 2f ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರ ಸೈಜ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜಾ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಮಿನಿಷ್ ಸೈಜಾ ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸೈಜಾ? ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ we have understood that image is formed at 2f when the object is at 2f and nature of the image is real. It can be caught on the screen, inverted ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೀಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ತಂತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. 2f ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ 2f, ಈಗ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 2f f ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು 2f ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎರೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟೆಲಿಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಓಕೆ, ಟೆಲಿಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರದ್ದು ಅನ್ವಯವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಈಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅಟ್ 2f ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ 2f ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಡಿಮಿನಿಷ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ ಇದೆ. That is very important. Okay. Now, between f and 2f ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಂಫರ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಲ್ವಾ? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ 2f ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ 2f ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒಂದು ರೇನ ನೀವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಂತರ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಲೈನ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ರೇ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮೂಲಕನೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು? 2f ನಂತರ ಬಂತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ 2f ಮುಂದೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ತಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇದೆ ಇಮೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅದು ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೇಮ್ ಸೈಜಾ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಮಿನಿಷ್ಡಾ ಅಥವಾ ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡಾ? ಸರ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 2f ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ f 2f ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 2f ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ತಂತಾನೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಮೇಜ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಯಲ್, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್. ಮೈಕ್ರೋಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ 2f ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿತ್ತು? ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ 2f ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಇಮೇಜು, ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಯಲ್, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಅಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಯ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇದೆ. ಅಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಓ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಅಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಈ ರೀತಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ, ಇಮೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಮೇಜ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ, ರಿಯಲ್, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 0 O and f, ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ f ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. I think by this time you have got a little confidence that yes, I can draw the ray diagram and I can tell the nature of the image as well as position of the image. ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ರಿವರ್ಸ್. Okay, that means it is virtual. So ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 0 and f ಇದ್ದಾಗ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಉಳಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಓ ಮಧ್ಯ ಬಂತೋ ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಇಮೇಜ್, ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಕಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್. ಸೊ ವರ್ಚುವಲ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ಲಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನಾನೀಗ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಮಿರರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇದೆ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. If you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, then I will clarify the doubt. Otherwise, very important part about the eye defects. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೋಡಿ, ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅನುಭವ ಇರಬಹುದು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಐ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ದೂರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ಲರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಪಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅದರದ್ದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ. ಇದು ರೆಟಿನಾಯ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇದು ರೆಟಿನಾಯ್ಡ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಐ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಐಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಹೌದಾ? ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳಲ್ಲ, ರೆಟಿನಾಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಟಿನಾಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ದೋಷ ಉಂಟಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಐ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಐ ವಿಷನ್ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ದೂರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೈಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೈಟ್, ನಿಯರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ದೂರ ಇರೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಇದು ಏನು ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಈ ತರ ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮಗೆ ನೇಮ್ ದ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ದೂರ ಇರೋ ವಸ್ತು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೈಟ್, ನಿಯರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಅದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮುಂದೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್, ದೂರದಿರೋ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಪಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಲರ್ಡ್, ಇಮೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೆಟಿನಾ. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪವರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪವರ್. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ದೂರದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪವರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ರೇ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಮಯೋಪಿಕ್ ಐ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೆಟಿನಾ ಇದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಅದನ್ನ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಒಂದು ಈ ತರ ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಚಿತ್ರವನ್ನ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಗುರುತಿಸಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಕೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಮಯೋಪಿಕ್ ಐ ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸರಿನಾ? ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಸೊ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ದೋಷ, ರೆಟಿನಾಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆಚೆಗೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಯರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಫಾರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಹೈಪರ್ ಮೆಟ್ರೋಪಿಯಾ, ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ರೆಟಿನಾಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಕನ್ವರ್ಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್, ಅದನ್ನ ಅದು ರೆಟಿನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ತಂದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? So we use convex lens to correct this hypermetropia ಅಥವಾ ಫಾರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್. ದೂರದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ, ಹತ್ತಿರ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ. hypermetropia, far sightedness. Near objects appear blurred. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದ ರೆಟಿನಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪವರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಹತ್ತಿರದ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಷ್ಟು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಐ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಕಲರ್ಫುಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ಉತ್ತರಿಸಬಹುದು. ಆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಒಂದು ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 2019 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ. 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಗಿವನ್ ಫಿಗರ್, ನೇಮ್ ದ ಐ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಿಗರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ದ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು 10 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಿದ್ದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ. ಮಯೋಪಿಯಾ ಯಾವ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಓ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಸೊ 2 ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉತ್ತರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನೇಮ್ ದ ಐ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಯಾವ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸರಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಿಯರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಐ ವಿತ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ವಿಷನ್. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 1-2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಪರ್ಮೆಟ್ರೋಪಿಯಾ ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೈಟೆಡ್ನೆಸ್? ನೇಮ್ ದ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 2019 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I hope the session has helped you to understand the physics diagrams as well as chemistry, biology diagrams. Diagrams ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದ ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಉತ್ತರಿಸಬಹುದು. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಒಂದು ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.